A city in danger.
It's a virtual 10.0.
The big one. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna blow up the original epicenter and create one ginormous localized catastrophe.
10.0 Earthquake.
I made Omega watch a movie.
It wasn't good. No,
It was joy.
No, it wasn't.
And light. And happiness. And ecstasy.
It was really bad, though. Like, seriously, it was.
It was fucking amazing. Okay, this is the movie. I don't think it's got a Region 2 release, so I have the American one here. I first saw this on the UK Netflix, so it might still be there if you're not in America. But, oh my fucking god.
No, it's not.
I chose it out of random Netflix one of these days when I was visiting, and I was just like, I'm gonna look at Netflix. And I spent the entire fucking movie with a huge grin because it's so fucking brilliantly terrible.
It's basically a really bad, like almost exact formulaic ripoff of San Andreas, which wasn't all that good to begin with either.
It's fucking amazing. It's much better than San Andreas. San Andreas was expensive and crap. This was joyful in its mockbusterness. I love this film. This is the best bad disaster film.
We find out how physics doesn't work.
Yeah! This one has got fissures sneaking up on people. You got the main character. He's played by a Peruvian who's playing a Scottish guy.
And his accent does not sound Scottish. It sounds like someone from Eastern or Western Europe trying to do an English accent. But him being Scottish is not pivotal to the plot at all. Like, literally, his daughter mentions his nationality one time. And that's
he puts on this attempt at a Scottish accent that sounds English.
It does sound very English.
Well, I think it's weird when you said like it sounds like Eastern or Western Europe, given that England's technically in Western Europe.
No, but like somebody from the continent, a non-English speaker is what I mean. Because usually when you think Western Europe, you don't think English speakers. I mean, be honest, you know.
Yeah, I know it's true. It's just funny.
I like I said, be honest, as though everyone in the audience was like, "No, I do, me."
But if like literally, all they had to do was change one line for his nationality, and you would. You know, because if you write a movie with a Scottish main character, and then the guys cast a Peruvian, you don't think, oh, I better keep the script identical as it is, you know.
That's so bad. And
like if they said he was Spanish or something, it would be better. But he's like Scottish.
And he has like a Hispanic partner in in his job and everything.
It's it was Cheech Marin I like.
Yeah, and there was like basically the best portrayal of Bury Your Gays ever. When, you know, one of the guys from the USGS, like the head of the regional office, like there's a big earthquake, so he goes, and you'd think that he, of all people, would know different. He goes, hides under his desk, immediately calls and leaves a voicemail for his partner saying, like, look, I love you so much, I just want to let you know, I can't die with this on my conscience, that we were, you know, down in Cancun, okay, when you passed out, I got with the concierge, but it meant nothing. And then she's like, oh, sorry, honey, disregard that message, I'll see you later, I love you, bye, Dennis. And I was like, oh, he's gay. How progressive. And then, like, half the building falls on him. And I was like,
that gay got buried.
Gays die. That's how it goes in the great state of California.
So you got these, the main character is the Scottish Peruvian guy. And his daughter has gone off with her teenage friends who are at least 2/3 assholes.
It's like there was two different movies going on. It's like they wanted a teen survival movie, but then they wanted a regular survival movie, and it was so bad.
So they were going off to camping, and the biggest asshole in the world, I don't know, two of the guys are really big assholes.
Yeah, the one guy has a Land Rover, and he's driving. Then there's some other guy who looks like a younger American version of Happy Harry from Channel Awesome.
Yeah!
It's really weird.
If Happy Harry was an evil American sort of, you know, chap.
And about younger. Bit younger.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's, like, the nerd. And
he's like,
I'm here
to tell you facts and stuff because I know everything.
Right. I really dislike that. If someone has a particular interest or, like, you know, for example, they have a PhD in something, like one of the main characters do, like, you know, in geology, that's fine, but, like, I hate, like, the general, I'm an all-purpose nerd, I know all the things.
I'm into geology, batteries, and ants. And dogs shitting.
Etymology. Oh, no, entomology. Yeah, he's like, oh, dogs, there's just this new German study that found the dogs align themselves with the Earth's magnetic core when they shit. I'm like, no, No, that's not true.
So much easier if he just said, dude, stars, you can see the North Star.
Yeah.
So much easier.
Like, it's
but
just
no,
so
they
bad,
needed a dog shitting in the movie.
But yeah, so we set up that the dad is overprotective. He's being kind of a dick. Like, he installed GPS, like, secret tracker on his daughter's phone. But then he tells his part, oh yeah, now that she's 18, which means that, I think, depending on what federal or state, laws have jurisdiction over that, I think that's technically illegal because she's an adult.
Oh dear.
I think. Don't quote me on that, but I think in the state of California, that's illegal because she's not a minor. But, yeah, so the hot guy who's taking them on this camping trip, tries to rape her earlier on.
Yeah,
and then he goes...
The guy she's dating just suddenly tries to rape her in the bathroom, and it comes out of nowhere.
Like, because here's the thing, because she's like, hey, and he's like, hey, and she's like hinting that, oh, we'll hook up this weekend, you know? And then, so he comes into the woman's toilets at the rest stop, and then just, like, pulls from the stall and, like, straight up tries to rape her. And I'm like, dude, first of all, she said... Like, she basically, hinted that I want to get together with you, Like, this weekend, this camping trip will be a really great place to get together. Did you really have to try to sexually assault her in a woman's toilet at a truck stop?
Apparently so.
Like...
this film it was all fun and games when people were dying in ridiculous ways, such as, an earthquake shooting a guy, which happened.
I called it, though.
Yeah. But, then rape gets involved, and it's like, oh, it got dark now.
Yeah. But so, like, and
look at the back of the box, guys. Look, they photoshopped in random explosions into some pictures of LA, except for, obviously, the middle one, which is Jeffrey Jones and all looking with the explosion behind them, as though they're all scientists and shit, but they can't actually detect. They're like, where's the explosion? Oh, it's behind. They didn't realize it's behind them.
All right. We should probably not just rant.
See,
okay,
it's right behind them. He's like, we're searching for it.
So the main character, the Scottish Peruvian, works for a fracking company. Yeah, fracking. And let me tell you what, that this company is straight out of Captain Planet, for God's sake.
It's great.
Like, so they have this plant that's digging, and it's digging, and the guy's like, oh no, and we must have gone too deep. We broke the Earth's crust. So I guess they've gone into
and
the
the
mantle.
villain guy who owns this company, he looks and acts like a cross between Donald Trump and Donald Trump's most evil-looking son.
Aye. With, like, a bit more of the, like, 1980s, oh, but I will build my factory, and I will kill everyone to do it.
Yeah, he's like, I have millions of lawsuits against us. We're going to have so much money that I will just be able to pay them all.
It doesn't matter.
Latino man working for me, have some champagne.
It doesn't matter if OSHA shuts you down. But yeah, like, so they have this plant that's running a top secret, too deep dig overnight with only 2 people at the whole entire facility.
Yep.
Who immediately go down the tunnel and die.
But one of them's really good at Jenga.
Yeah. But, so your man, the Frackmeister, and his Hispanic sidekick are like, oh no. And then there's this woman who, it's her first day at the USGS, and her boss is like, yeah, he's the black gay guy, by the way. He's like, yeah, so we're understaffed. We don't even have interns or computers or staples. Yeah, so have fun.
Even though, we deal with geology and shit, and this is LA.
Yeah, like, you'd think the one place that the USGS would not underfund would be right on the San Andreas fucking fault. Like, if you want to underfund a USGS office in, say, Baltimore, Maryland.
Or Michigan.
Yeah, but, like, no, and so...
It's a bit like having a hurricanes, detection place, but, underfunding the one in Florida, but keeping the one in Wisconsin fully funded.
No, it's so bad.
It's great.
But, yeah, so they show up because Jeffrey Jones is playing some mad professor who...
Yeah, this is Jeffrey Jones.
The pedophile.
First film he's been in since, I think the last one was Ravenous. Because of... Well, you can look it up.
He's a pedophile.
And... It's basically, if you ever wanted to know what the principal from Ferris Bueller would be like if he was playing the 12th Doctor, this is it.
Not enough eyebrows.
Because you got, like, what is it? How can you be so callous? I've had a lot of practice.
Apparently academia makes you, it inures you to death.
And he's drinking about 15 Red Bulls, and this Red Bull gave this movie wings. It's awesome.
It's so bad, but he always cracks one open with a look of the guy from Airplane, like, looks like I picked the wrong week to give up energy drinks.
Yeah, and for some reason he's a billionaire, and he's got this huge mansion with this, like, 20-year-old wife, even though he's in his 60s.
And she's like, oh, will you get me cupcakes on the way home? And he's like, no! I'm busy, I have to save LA. Cheesecake? You don't have to cry.
And they got you can tell they're rich because they have their wine bottles, the wine in the wine bottles, beside the staircase in this clear thing,
It's
right
like
where all the
this
sunlight
glass
can
kind of-
see them.
It looks really nice. But
It looks nice.
I
I'm pretty,
can see. I see you in there.
yeah, because I'm pretty sure even that's why the wine is kept in green bottles in order to keep away from light. But I'm pretty sure it's still not a good idea to keep it in full sunlight,
Exposed to light.
all the time.
Well, here's the thing: is that
That's why
might
they
be
use cellars.
they might not be wine people, but they might they're like the
They want
wealthy.
to show or pretend.
Yeah, like my mom knows a lot about wine, but I don't. I mean, I'll tell you what, guys. If someone asks you to bring wine to a thing and you don't know what to do, just get Yellowtail. Just pick a color of Yellowtail. There's only 3 of them. There's white, red, and rosé, and it's not that expensive.
Rosé is not a color.
It's a type of wine. Yes, it is because it's pink rather than dark.
Just call it pink.
Dark because it's rosé. It's a French thing. I don't know, but yeah, just get Yellowtail. It's fine. It's fine.
We can't find the explosion.
Stop it.
Where is it?
So then she tells the guy the entire Los Angeles basin is gonna fall into a... And basically sinkholes and mini quakes are happening all over the area, and huge famous buildings are collapsing.
Yeah, Capitol Records building is just we're telling you about the Capitol Records building. It's a little bit of earthquake. It'll be fine. Boom!
And it falls.
And all the tourists get
But here's
killed.
the thing, it's then they show you these aerial drone shots of the city with CGI'd in explosions and build skyscrapers on fire, but the traffic is moving fluidly. Now, I want to point out, this is LA. The traffic doesn't move fluidly, even on the best of days, where everyone's
So either they CGI'd in the traffic moving wrong,
or it's footage from early in the morning, or in the evening when it's not rush hour.
Yeah.
And then they see, it's just, so then he's like, oh no, my daughter's out there in the forest, I have to go save her. And then they get chased through an aqueduct by a fissure, and then...
the fish are chasing after them, and so the guy, the phone's been lost in the back, so the guy's trying to get it, and the woman's she's trying to swerve to escape the fissure as though, zigzagging gets you away from the fissure, not realizing that the way to get rid of away from the fissure is just to drive as fast as possible. Because it's
and then a bridge starts to collapse, and she makes it an insane right angle turn under.
Even though that took more time than just driving underneath it, this is so good.
Oh no!
This film should be much more famous than it is. I mean, David Gadali, who directed it. I know that ages ago I did a Facebook message, a post about this on the Hag on Facebook, talking about how much I love this film, and you left a message. So if you see this, David Gadali, thank you so much. I fucking adore this film.
If you're the director, write the show. No, but I have so many questions. So. Part of the bridge falls out on this road that the teens are on. And oh no, and they slam on the brakes and hit nothing to the point that they are all concussively knocked out. And the boy goes through the windshield. Now here's the thing. That's the kind of force that happens when a moving object is stopped by something. That's when the force gets transferred. At least what I remember from physics. Slamming on the brakes is not the same kind of force because you're decelerating slowly. Okay, not slowly, but very quickly, but slower, than it would be if you suddenly stopped. But everybody was knocked unconscious, even though the 3 in the back, there was nothing they could have concussed themselves against.
Yeah, absolutely nothing.
And the Happy Harry boy was literally thrown through the windshield,
flipped in midair,
and was hanging onto the bumper that was over the crevice.
So I managed to go... turning around and going that way again and holding on again.
Aye.
Without any sort of cuts or thing to his head, it was awesome.
But then he died and the car fell on him.
So,
that was great. So.
Either his head or his hands went through the windshield, and yet neither of them were injured.
They were all the whole movie shut up, nerd, and he's I'm just in
First
the movie.
time I watched that movie, whenever actually we got to the bit where they stopped, I was sure the car had gone over the edge, and I was like, oh, that's gutsy, that's awesome.
And
it was oh, they're still alive. It was oh no, then they killed Happy Harry.
It's just physics doing things that it never would do in real life.
Then there was a Sharknado joke.
Yeah, there was a Sharknado joke, because apparently your man's a bit of an Alex Jones, and in Jeffrey Jones, he's always calling up the lieutenant of
something,
the entire police of California, because apparently he's got a number right to the governor, who I think they're strongly hinting is still Arnold Schwarzenegger. It's oh, have you met him? No, but I've talked to him.
I think this is just a wild guess, but I think when they wrote the script, they were hoping they could get a cameo.
Yeah, that's what that sounds like. Because they always talk about telling the governor, and the governor is just never fucking involved. It's just this one lieutenant who must be like the head of FEMA or something.
Oh, and okay, so
no, that's what I was saying. But he's like, so what is it now? A swine flu epidemic? You know, something else? A hurricane made of sharks? Hey, you don't know how close that came to happening. We were like, bah, Sharknado joke.
Okay, well, basically the fracking is causing all these mini earthquakes that somehow is going to cause a giant earthquake that will send the entirety of LA into the ocean. And so they got to try and avert this. So how do you avert that? By blowing up the earthquake.
Yeah. Because apparently the female USGS officer, did she even, what was her name?
Blonde woman.
I'll call her Karen because Karen sounds like a good name. So Karen's doctorate thesis was about something called epicenter containment, which sounds like it was one of those theoretical things that sounds really good mathematically and really good on paper, and then you can publish and everyone's like, oh, really great theory, but it's completely batshit, so it is, this is a pipe. So you'll get your doctorate. You don't even know how that works. not a pipe, like a scholarly pipe. It's not an inhaler. But anyway, so she's like, no, it was just my theory, and it was a C- theory at best. I'm like, if you got a C- in your doctoral thesis, I think they send you back for revisions. I don't think they pass you on anyway, but whatever.
I think she was just insulting her work.
Oh, well, that's possible. But so they go to, so earlier, the Scottish Peruvian, this is so confusing for anyone who's like watching the plot. The Scottish Peruvian went, and he called his boss, who apparently is the owner of the whole company, and is like, you can't do it, people are gonna die, we're gonna get sued, 2 of our people are dead. Nobody, like, no cops ever came, he's like, I'll call the police while I'm on the road. No, these people are like lying dead somewhere. And so he's like, oh yeah, no, that's grand, yeah, I'll totally stop that. I'm not going to stop it at all, I'm a
because I am Donald Eric Trump.
So then he turns everything on anyway, even though the Hispanic guy has been sent up to tell him, please stop because apparently no one is noticing, even like, you know, when the teens are like, oh my gosh, everyone's talking about these quakes on Twitter. Like, in the modern, I could see this happening if this was like, you know, the 80s, where it was all like, oh, I'll call you on the landline, you know? But
yeah, the villain, he's really evil, and he gets told about all this stuff that's happening. And then, whenever he leaves the building, he looks at a TV screen and sees what's actually happening.
Then he says, and the scenes being shown are of mild devastation, like an overturned car, like some bricks of fun goes. And he goes, oh my gosh, oh no, what have I done?
It's like,
my narrative arc is peaking.
He was doing all the villainy.
Wait, stop, I'm going to act. What? Oh no, what have I done?
He was doing all the fucking villainy, and then he ignored all media, even though several people were being like, "Dude, look what's going on! Look!"
Also, the fact that like literally
undestroyed.
Los Angeles spent an entire day with like exploding and like things on fire, and then everyone's kind of like, "Oh, check that out." Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, the boss is like, "Oh shit."
And
then he goes and sacrifices himself, but right before he sacrifices himself, the Scottish Peruvian guy goes like
they try to up the pressure at that one site, but they can't for some reason. We have to use the manual release valve, and I'm like, how? For Christ's sake, this is the year of our Lord 2016, and you have. I like to say that because it sounds funny. And like you have the huge like, you know, multi-billion-dollar machinery and stuff like that. You still have a manual release valve? You don't have some kind of like robotic arm drone that you can engage. So now finish.
So the Scottish Peruvian and the boss of the operation, Eric Donald Trump guy, go down there to be all heroic and stuff, and the Scottish guy's like, "Don't think this changes anything. You still deserve to die." And then the Eric Trump guy gets left down there
no. I'll stay here and hold it. Not like
to do a heroic sacrifice.
They are surrounded by huge, heavy, metallic machinery. Are you telling me there's nothing they could use to prop that lever down? But he's down there in his wife beater with like his muscles, because apparently he was ripped the whole time going,
I'm holding it! While I'm melting, it's awesome! This film is amazing. And then they hold the helicopter so the dog can jump into it because
there was the hunter. There was a hunter with his dog.
The dog got shit everywhere.
No, he only shit the one time.
Still.
To show them which way the earth was pointing.
And then whenever the two of them had a battery against their stomachs because of reasons, and
you remember
the dog was like, "What the fuck are you?"
Yeah, the boy was like, "Oh, I read this new paper that came out by these scientists in France that you can like, if you like apply body heat to a cell phone, you can charge it." And I was like, "That's not true." I mean, they have those things, like, I think they're torches that you have to shake like this. And the kinetic energy is enough to power a Wii battery and a Wii bowl, because that's about what you... Like, I'm surprised you didn't say, let's dig up some potatoes and we can make a potato clock. And if you are so young that you have never made a potato clock in school, just Google it. We'll write the show.
And but it would be so much simpler for them to be all like, we're at the car. Let's walk back by the road.
Yeah, they didn't. They were on the top of the road, and they didn't follow the road. They just went off into the wilderness.
To find a ranger station miles away.
And then
just follow
the rapist was like, let's go into this cave. And the girl's like, I don't want to be in a cave with you. And the nerd's like, oh, we could go this way, and we'll follow the north and things and stuff. And so her friend, who's kind of a bitch and got what she deserved, was like, no, I'm going to go in the cave with the rapist. I mean, Derek.
And then I'm going to have sex with him, and then we're going to be impaled by a stalactite.
Then she's like, fine. So they split up. And so the second they get in the thing, she's like, so. And she's like, you know, and then they have sex, and then they're impaled by a stalactite that falls.
It's so awesome.
Is it a stalactite or stalagmite?
Stalactite, stalagmite.
Okay. Yeah, it falls on them. That's really great. It impales them both. Because that's what straight people
Actually, wait, no. Stalagmite, stalactite.
Are you sure?
It's one or the other.
If you know it.
Stalagbite, stalagkite.
But anyway, they blow up a thing, and they basically make a national park into a volcano. Although they say that they do it, it's never shown, and they save LA somehow.
And then Jeffrey Jones remembers he needs to get fucking cheesecake.
He's like, stop! And they're like, what? What have we done wrong? And he's like, we gotta stop for cheesecake. Oh, and then just like in San Andreas, the overprotective father who was like dedicated to his work but secretly dedicated to his family, that's why he's dedicated to his work and so distant, like he's been served with divorce papers by the mom, just like at the beginning of San Andreas with The Rock, but statistically a lot less time in a helicopter.
This is so much better than San Andreas. Ugh. This is amazing.
Although the daughter in San Andreas was actually a really cool character. Our vlog is somewhere back there, the Backseat critique.
Yeah, it's there.
So just search for that on her channel. But
San Andreas is bad. This is amazing.
No, but I liked her character because her whole thing was, you know, my dad's an EMT. You know, he is an army veteran.
He steals a helicopter.
No, because she was so resourceful. Like, she knew all the things to do. And at one point, the mother's like, don't worry, our daughter's resourceful. I'm like, no, she's not. You must be thinking of someone from another movie. Oh, that's right. Where did we buy this? It was Tesco?
Sainsbury's. Yeah, this is just an extra little let's try for the end because I picked this up. This is Madagascan cola.
I think it will taste like regular cola. I don't want that much because it's sugar.
A rich blend of cola, nut, exotic spices, citrus and vanilla. A natural cola has been carefully created to enhance the complex flavors of the finest rums, whiskies and bourbons.
So it's a mixer.
Apparently so.
I have some whiskey. Maybe I'll have some later. What's that?
Wait a sec. Wow. The world's most useless fairs.
What?
Yeah!
Do you see what I have to put up with, internet? You just see this? Why is it on my head?
Perfectly balanced for dark spirits.
Apparently, if we'd bought 2 bottles of it, we could have bought a free bottle of spirits of Havana Club Especial. I don't know what kind of... If we make a Cuba Libre, so must be rum.
If you want some of that, then go to Sainsbury's.
Was it from Sainsbury's or was it from Tesco?
It was from Sainsbury's.
I could have sworn it was from Tesco.
No, go to
Open
Sainsbury's.
here.
Smells like a cola.
We didn't buy 2, so I guess if we buy another one, then we get a free thing of... It doesn't say how much. Oh, I don't know how to enter.
That's a decent cola.
Oh, no, they posed it to you, and it's 5 CL. Oh, it's like a little airport bottle. I don't want that.
Madagascan cola. Tastes like it's been separated from the rest of colas for a long time and evolved slightly differently.
It tastes like a vanilla spicy cola, pretty much, an ounce of time. Although, I will mix some with some whiskey later. That might be nice. That tastes like the kind of stuff you'd want to mix with Pirate rum. The really nice rum by the makers of Patron.
So now you know.
What do they know?
And knowing is half the battle.
We drank an okay cola, and we watched a really bad movie.
It's a fucking awesome movie. Guys, watch 10.0 Earthquake. It is so good.
Or have a party where you drink copious amounts of alcohol, watch San Andreas first, and then watch this.
There are the famously, quote unquote bad films. The Room gets way too much attention. The Birdemic, although I understand Birdemic's appeal. This one should be watched by a lot more people. It's awesome.
Why? Why are you so devoted to this? Why?
It's the perfect mix.
Of what? No, because Volcano was stupid. Dante's Peak was kind of stupid.
Scottish Peruvian. You've got sneaking fissures. You've got blowing up an earthquake to make it stop.
You've got a pedophile in a leading role.
You've got Deborah Jones as the doctor.
Although the woman Karen, she looked like a low budget Calista Flockhart. She did a wee bit. I think it was in the lips.
So anyway,
you know Calista Flockhart from
Ally McBeal.
Yeah.
And Lake Placid.
Hey, what happened to her after the 90s?
I don't know. Didn't she have a thing for Harrison Ford?
Oh, but who doesn't really?
Kylo Ren.
So we'll probably do another one of these soon.